Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode one of the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. My name is Byron, aka the Notorious, aka the Letterbox List God, and aka Better Than George Carmi. I am joined by my two wonderful co-hosts, Harry and Ash.
Why
Ash,
did
how you been?
go Ash?
I'm good. I'm curious what Harry wants to interject here.
Why did we agree to let him host the first one? He
I don't
instantly
know.
goes into like his manifesto.
I
Like,
mean, I didn't expect anything differently, really. So,
instantly
I,
goes into a
I
third
figured as
person.
much.
he has to make sure all his names are known for the
Yeah.
people, obviously. But I am good. Had a busy day today. It's Friday the 13th. We're recording this, so if you're superstitious, that's awesome. I'm a little stitious,
Damn it! I was
but
gonna say
not.
that. Damn.
But yeah, I'm good. I had a pretty busy week at work, but I took today off and Monday off. So I have a 4-day weekend.
Oh
So
lush,
that's pretty awesome.
Love to hear
Otherwise,
it.
yeah, I was sick a week ago. That sucked ass, but otherwise feeling good.
lush. That's awesome.
Harry, how you been?
Yeah, man. Same with Ash. I've been busy lately with work, of course. It's just the nature of the beast. I'm sure that everyone kind of feels that towards the end of the year. It's just like always a peak. But no, it's spooky season, man. Like all my spare time has just been straight into horror movies, as much as possible. There hasn't been that too much good shit coming out that's new. Like here and there. Like I loved The Creator, to be honest. Like we can go through spoilers. Majority of October is just gonna be around horror, but later on later into the year when we go into like what we've seen so far this year, like that is probably the highlight of this month for me, or like the last couple of months. I love The Creator, but everything else has kind of been wish-washy, so it's just been focusing on horror until next week. Kills of the Flower Moon. How you been, Byron?
Yeah, I'm young. I don't have anything on. I've been checking off some really good shit off my watch list. And a lot of rewatches too. Um, so we'll get into that whenever, but a lot of good shit. But yeah, I've been pretty normal the last week or so.
You've been killing it with your rewatches and like your like watch list tick off.
You've logged so much stuff.
Yeah,
You've
I don't
logged a
like
lot of shit though. Every now and then you're
no.
like, you can't. Oh, I don't know. You're like, oh, I didn't know about this movie. 2.5.
I've watched uh, so far as of right now. I've seen 23 movies this month.
That's not too bad. That's
Two
pretty
of
good.
them are 2.5. Those are the lowest I have. I don't have a negative rated movie.
Yeah, fair.
A lower 5 out of 10. So, and I watched Alien this month. So it's already a win.
You watch Alien every
Um,
month, Byron.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I, yeah, probably.
fair.
I respect it.
Yeah, but why not?
Nice, Byron. Should we talk about how this got created? Yes. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, so we put out a couple of trailers on Byron and Ash's. Ash, feel free to jump in whenever I misspeak. On Byron and Ash's accounts, just a little bit of fun. But that kind of was the story that, if anyone doesn't know, that me and Ash used to do a weekly show called Watch This Book Club. We always wanted to do content together, and we kind of wanted to have an excuse to tick off to go to our watch list and tick them off one by one, which we did, and we got through around like 20 episodes, so 20 weeks, which is awesome. I think just shy
Yeah,
of 20 weeks. I think it was like 18,
that
19,
sounds correct.
yeah, um, which is awesome. But we kept, even from episode one, we kept thinking like this is not great for short form. Like we would be talking about a film for maybe 16 minutes, and I'd cut it down to a 3 minute clip, and I'm like, this isn't really respecting the film, and it kind of like makes us cut out a lot of our pretty good thoughts, or at least Ash's pretty decent thoughts. I just ramble. Um, but but
Yeah, I speak so eloquently about film. I mean, come on.
you do. But yeah, so we kind of always had this idea to evolve this into a podcast, and we kind of said, "Fuck it, let's do it." But it was after we did an episode for, was it the Evil Dead remake?
Yeah,
2013's
The
2013.
Evil
20,
Dead.
the Fede Alvarez one, yeah, where we had Byron
Yep.
on, and it just gelled. It was great. It was like a 20-minute vid or record that I had to cut down to 3 minutes. But after me and Ash were like, this was great. Let's make this the podcast. So that kind of became it.
It's been in the works. That was like back in April
yeah.
when we rewatched that, because it was for Evil Dead Rise
it was
preparation. So this has been in the works for at least 6 months.
Yeah,
and here we are finally.
How do we come up with a name? Or should we keep that a secret? Let's keep that we can evolve that later on.
Secret.
I'm not gonna lie. I can't remember.
I'm not sure that I remember either. I just think that we know that Byron's decrepit like an 80-year-old man. So that was, death came in that way.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And we love movies, so therefore
we love
death movies. It encompasses all of our lives.
Yeah, I like to always I've described it to people I work with. I'm like, it's the 3 certainties in life: love, death, and movies. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, facts only.
Ash, do you want to start us up with the structure of like what this would look like week to week? Because this week's gonna be a bit different, of course, because it's an intro.
Yeah, so we'll have one episode every week, released on Tuesdays, and this month is going to be, surprise, surprise, horror movie focused, or just horror focused, because we all love that genre very much. So we'll have quite a few October episodes that are around that. But yeah, we'll have an episode every week, and we will try to cover more of topics that each of us will bring. So Byron's hosting this week, and then I'm hosting next week. So we'll kind of each bring something different every week to kind of change it up. We're not really planning on being the news podcast, so we'll let Real Talk stick with that if they want to tell about movie news and what's happening in the movie world. But we're going to focus more on films that we all love and films we want you guys to all check out, and maybe even, I don't know, some TV down the road if that becomes a thing. And yeah, it'll be fun to kind of change it up every week and not necessarily know what each host is bringing.
Yeah, with TV, it's just going to be Succession for me. Just purely Succession. Need to watch that. You do need to watch Succession. You can.
I can't with TV.
You can.
I can't with TV at all.
Grow up.
I got Alex trying to get me to watch Twin Peaks. I haven't finished Ahsoka. I haven't really even started. I haven't. Yeah, I've heard. I'm probably going to fall behind on Loki. I actually already have.
Okay, so maybe not TV.
On Daryl's show. Invincible drops next week. Gen V's releasing. I can't do it, man.
We already got Byron stressed out, so okay, scratch the TV idea. Just movies.
Yeah, he's having a 10th year or quarterly life crisis. Less than that.
From a guy who watched all 11 seasons of The Walking Dead's main show.
Oh man, Walking Dead died.
But yeah, that's the structure. So.
Yeah, absolutely. As Ash said, we don't. To be honest, I get all my movie news from Real Talk. So, our main thing was not doing that because they own that land. So yeah, each week, each of us will bring a topic. It will be very diverse, and we can go from old movies to even something in the news if something like piques our interest. But each week's gonna be a bit different, which is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Over to you, Byron.
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick rundown of today's episode. It's not so much heavy because this is a debut episode. We don't want to drag on for too long. What we have planned today is a horror trivia game, which will pit Harry versus Ash. All questions from me. I tried to pick a lot of questions that are from movies that you both have seen, so it gives no one an unfair advantage. We'll be doing that 5 questions at a time. I have 15 in total, and I hope Harry loses.
Honestly, so do I. So fair enough.
And then the main thing that we're doing today is a horror ranking. We will all give you our top 10 horror movies of all time. There's no specific rule on what you can and cannot include. I know that Harry has some movies he's been talking to me about that he believes is horrors. I do not. I don't really care. He can have them if he wants.
Thanks, man.
I mean, I'm sure I have some wild cards in there, but there's no complaining over here. We will be doing that through we'll be giving you our our bottom 5 of our top 10, very fast. We don't need to chirp on it for too long, and then we'll give you a brief breakdown on our top 5 individually,
Beautiful.
which I believe is what we're doing right now.
Amen.
Let's do it.
Christ, we're already there.
So, Harry, because you were furthest that way on my screen, I'm going to get you to go first. Give us your number 10 horror movie of all time.
Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Sorry, Byron. I have 10 going with 2 movies basically, so I'm just gonna give a quick shout out to one. All right, I know
Yeah,
it's
you
not
can
allowed.
you can do honorable
A
mentions.
little quick honorable mention because this was coming in at number 10 until literally 20 minutes ago. Number 10, well, number 11 technically, is a first time watch for this week for me. Is Suspiria.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, man. Oh.
What, like you wanted higher?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
yeah, fair play. No, dude,
Oh,
10
wait,
of
wait.
11 of all time. Think like this isn't a
I
bad
say
thing.
that. It's not in mine.
Oh,
But
well, oh man. But no, this movie I watched it for the first time like this week, and it's just stuck with me ever since. I think it's brilliantly told. I think anyone that's watched it can agree that the cinematography fucks in it. It's so good.
it's unreal.
Yeah, so that just needed a shout out. So, but number 10 is a Watch This Book Club alumni, Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby.
Nice. I had a feeling you might pick that. I know you really, really enjoyed that.
I love this movie. I've watched it twice now. I adore it. Everything about it, the creepy nature of it, I just think is sublime. I think that Mia Farrow is fantastic in it. I love just the atmosphere of this apartment building. It's kind of like a closed setting without a closed setting. I loved it. I think it's brilliant. Number 9 is what I think is the greatest blockbuster of all time with Jaws. That is a horror. That absolutely is a horror. The monster
Yes,
movie.
100%.
Cool. This reaffirmed for me because I saw it in the cinema last year. It just my local cinema does a lot of retro stuff, so I got to see it in the cinema, and that like reaffirmed like how much fun it was to watch it. So absolutely, Steven Spielberg, Jesus, Jaws.
You almost said Stephen King, huh?
I did. I
That's where
almost
I
said
thought he
Steven.
was going
I
with
almost
that.
said Steven Soderbergh, but oh well. All right, so that's 9. Number 8 is Hereditary. I think me and George said it best.
Yeah.
Very much in one of the latest Real Talks, where he said that's one of the only movies that has made him lose sleep. And I was completely the same. Like I remember watching that for the first time and coming home and having to have lights on in the house to sleep. Like it's insane what Ari Aster was able to do. We'll be able to talk about this movie probably in the coming weeks about exactly why I love it, or it might be in your top 5 where we can in one of your top 5s where we can talk about it in a bit more in depth. Number 7 is just an unbelievable slash movie with Halloween. I adore this movie. Should be crucial to everyone's Halloween watch. I think it's brilliant. Everything about it. I just love how Michael Myers drives a car in this movie. I saw a TikTok the other day where it slowed down where Michael Myers driving a car and he looks both ways to turn into an intersection, and I just think that's adorable. So that's why I made into the list at number 7. And then number 6, I watched this last night. This is one that Byron says that he disagrees with. It can be described as a dark fantasy, I do, but it does have a lot of horror elements in it. Pan's Labyrinth.
Interesting.
I think it's not only one of I think it's Guillermo del Toro's best film by far.
I agree. I just didn't think it was a horror film.
No, I think there's arguments for and against, but in terms of the Spanish Civil War element, that already is horrific. But then this like horror mind of this girl that's going through these traumatic events that she's and all these like fucked up creatures, I think is absolutely brilliant. I think it's one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. In terms of character design, I think probably one of, if not the best I've ever seen in any movie. But yeah, that's my 10 or 11 to 6. Who's next?
Wow.
Ash.
Okay, I'm just gonna preface this with I did my top 10 favorites. And they happen to be higher rated ones. They're all 4.5 or 5 out of 5 stars for me. But
That's fine.
I did not rank this based on if I think it's the best horror film ever made.
Oh
I
no,
just
these
did
are
it
very
based on
much
my
these
my
are our
enjoyment.
favorites. Absolutely.
So you're gonna see a theme here. Let's just say that. Okay, getting into the list. So at 10, I have one of my favorite horror comedies, which you guys know that's a genre that I love, Shaun of the Dead, which I want to rewatch soon because I love that movie. If you guys have both seen it, right?
Yes,
of course.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. I love that movie. And then at number 9, I have Halloween.
Nice.
So a little bit lower down the list, but I still love it. I just rewatched it. It's that opening scene, like,
oh, it's so good. You say
my brain can never.
You say lower down the list. It's still in the top 10 of all time. Like, it's still
right. No, I just meant lower than because you had it at 7.
I know.
Yeah, still in top 10. Still fantastic. Very classic, perfect. John Carpenter-esque movie. So, okay, and then at number 8, I have Evil Dead 2.
Nice.
When I rewatched that movie, I think I rewatched it like back in April when I was prepping for Evil Dead Rise. I loved it so much more than I did the first time. It's so good. Fucking hilarious. Like, Ash has to be the most iconic horror character ever to exist. And obviously I'm biased to Ash, but that is my number 8. And that one can kind of flip-flop, but I think 7, I feel pretty good about saying Alien. It's not in my top 5. I know, Byron, I'm sorry, but I still love it. I'm just not as much of a sci-fi.
At least it's on there. At least it's on
the list. I just rewatched it. I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and I had forgotten like how haunting it really is because I always just thought it was a sci-fi movie, but I kind of remembered how much there's like the horror elements. So definitely made the list.
Nice.
And then number 6, I have one of my all-time favorite horror comedies, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. I think that is the most brilliant movie. I don't care what anybody says. That is one of the most perfect horror comedies. It is exactly what you would want in something that is, I don't know how to explain it, but basically with what they're trying to accomplish, it's done so perfectly. Like, these poor guys are just trying to enjoy their cabin and everything keeps going wrong, but they just keep looking like they're killers. It's a perfect recipe.
I love
I will say, look, it's not anywhere near the top of my ranking, but holy shit, it might just be the funniest movie ever. Yeah. Genuinely ever. I can't think of it.
And that's the thing, is people kind of feel like horror comedies don't deserve to be like in top. Like, it's different because it's not scaring you in the same way. But I think that subgenre deserves just as much respect as any other horror subgenre. So
fuck with that.
That's my 10 through 6. Or sorry, 10 through 6. Yeah, 10 through 6.
Oh, you're good. Byron.
Now, just giving a top 10 is so incredibly hard. I think it's very well known how much I like horror. So it's a real shame that I've left a lot of these movies off. So I am going to give 5 honorable mentions. I could have gave you 30 honorable mentions, to be honest, and still make a top 20 list. Because I really do think there's some really, really good stuff out there. So I'm just going to... So honorable mentions go to Scream, Suspiria, Evil Dead 2, John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness, and The Exorcist. Kicking off my number 10, I have my highest rated international film of all time, which is, in my eyes, the best zombie movie of all time, Train to Busan.
Nice.
Amazing film.
That just got off my top 10.
I think
it was very close.
Look, it almost dropped after I was moving some stuff around, but it's so good.
Great pick. It needed to be mentioned anyway, so I'm glad you said it.
Absolutely. Number 9 actually belongs to the only slasher that I hold out of 5 stars, which is the original Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think for 1974, it's an achievement and a half. It's absolutely incredible.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's one of the most influential films ever.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll ever be a slasher that I'll rank over it. I really don't.
Nice.
Number 8, and this is a little bit of a odd choice, but I still think it counts, which is Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse. I
That
think
chick is in like
it's
the fantasy horror genre, so I feel like
yeah,
it definitely
psychological thriller
hmm
type. It, like I've
amazing
included
film.
it. I think it's always been in my ranking. I think what Robert Eggers has done with not only The Lighthouse but his 2 horror movies, he's done an absolutely amazing job, and I cannot fucking wait for Nosferatu.
Yeah, that's got to be up there with one of my most anticipated of all time.
I think it is my most anticipated movie of next year.
Hell yeah.
Number 7 belongs to Hereditary.
Nice.
I believe my highest rated A24 horror movie.
Nice.
Hereditary isn't just Ari Aster's best work, but I mean, it's this high on my list. It's one of the best horrors of all time, not even in the modern era, just ever.
Yeah.
I mean, what he was able to accomplish with it was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And my number 6, I wanted it to make 5, but unfortunately it sits at number 6, which is Steven Spielberg's Jaws, the movie that kick-started off the summer blockbuster in such a grand way. It'll forever be a horror movie.
Yeah.
Even though the shark's not actually in the movie for a whole lot of time.
But the idea of the shark is, though.
But the idea of the shark.
Yeah, the danger's always there.
Danger zone. So Harry, please give us your number 5.
All right, coming in at number 5. Ash, you said, have we watched it? Number 5 is Shaun of the Dead. I think Shaun of the Dead is the funniest movie of all time for me. It's a horror comedy, so it is a horror film. I absolutely wholeheartedly agree that that's a section of horror. This movie is fantastic. Like the writing is brilliant. I've watched documentaries on the making of this film, where just that like one walking shot that Shaun does to the shop and back, and how it's composed again. I think it's stunning, and the way that this is made in like 20 days or something is spectacular. Like it's insane. Everything about this movie I think is perfect. If The World's End was as good as Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, then we are talking one of, if not the greatest trilogy of all time. Like up
I
there.
still have to see that one. I haven't seen The World's End yet.
It's good. I think it's still, for me, it's underrated, but it's like nowhere near as good as Shaun or Hot Fuzz. But for me, like I love Hot Fuzz. I think Hot Fuzz is still a 5 out of 5. Shaun's my favorite of the trilogy for sure. I think Simon Pegg's perfect as Shaun, and it's just such a smart comedy. It's so smart, but it still brings those elements of horror towards it. I think are pretty sublime.
Agreed. All
Sublime.
right.
Sublime.
Ash, on to you. Number 5.
All right. Number 5. This might be, well, I have a couple horror hot takes, but this is one of them. I have Army of Darkness. I just rewatched it. I know Byron, he hates that I love this movie so much.
I do not. I do not.
You always laugh every time I talk about it being my favorite.
I was not
of the trilogy, or not the trilogy. I guess it's the whole Evil Dead franchise. But there's just the way that Ash is in this one, and just all the super cheesy practical, like the skeletons, everything.
So
just
good.
It makes me feel so silly when I watch it, and I adore it so much. The scene where he gets the chainsaw back on his arm and it like flies through the air, and then he gets his boomstick and he's just like groovy, like, and he's all like sweaty and just like beat up. It makes me happy to watch it. That 91 minutes or whatever it is, 89 minutes. I bought the Steelbook. I just absolutely love that movie. It's definitely become like an all-time favorite of mine. I gave it 5 stars last time that I logged it. So.
I love that you did that. That's awesome. Hail to the king, baby.
I think I'm just such a I love the cheesy old like practical effect horror comedies. Like they're done so brilliantly, and they don't rely on like jump scares or like any of that stuff. You have to just like rely fully on the actor and like their ability to like make it comical. And obviously Bruce does that perfectly.
Yeah,
so
he's great.
That is my number 5.
Did you see the clip of it was, I think it was is it South by Southwest? It's in Austin. It was a showing of Evil Dead Rise, and someone yelled out, "It sucks!" And then Bruce Campbell's on stage. He's like, "Get the fuck out of here, buddy!
Yeah.
Get out
I have
of here!"
seen that.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I
'cause
love
you
it.
don't fuck with Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, and then I went and
Mm-hmm.
saw Evil Dead Rise, and like spoilers for future weeks. That's probably my highest rated horror this year. Like I think
Yeah,
Evil Dead
mine.
Rise is splendid.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
Yeah,
bangs.
yeah, it's so good. So like that guy's
I
an
love that we
idiot.
all agree on that.
Yeah, that guy's a moron. Sorry, continue. Byron, what's your number
Yeah, why
5?
do why do people keep fucking with this? My number five is the newest movie to this list, or into my top five at least. I really don't see a time where it's going to drop out, whether I rewatch others or not. My number five belongs to Jordan Peele's directorial debut, Get Out.
Nice.
Um, to think that it's a directorial debut is fucking mental.
Mm-hmm.
What he crafted here was like I get like a lot of people would have this as a thriller. Okay, Alex tried taking it in a draft, and I was not going to let that slide. Um, this is a horror
Google
through and
says
through.
suspense/horror. So
That
Yeah,
that was a messy draft. It was,
that's so funny.
oh, fond memories, man. But no, I think Get Out is a an astronomical sized achievement, not only in horror but in filmmaking in general.
hmm
Um, I mean, all of Jordan Peele's movies, all three of them have been 4.5 or higher. Get Out being the only five for me, and it's holding a high five. It'll probably never drop. It'll probably never escape my top five. Um, I everything about it is just fucking mental.
Yeah,
It's
it's
absolutely
agreed.
great.
was it nominated for Best Picture? I'm pretty sure it was. It didn't
Oh, I
win, of
don't know.
course, but he won for Best Original Script, and Kaluuya was nominated for
Yep,
Best
Yeah,
Actor.
that
Like
sounds right.
that in
deservedly
itself,
so.
absolutely, that in itself
It's a
shows
big
the
deal.
quality of a directorial debut. I like this. It's not in my top 10, but I agree with everything you say. I think that movie's
Yeah,
like so damn good. Like everything about it is just it's so simple and small, but incredibly smart.
I
yeah,
feel like it's a movie that like I haven't been able to forget about it since I saw it. Like it's definitely. I'm with you, Byron. It'll never drop from being 5 out of 5
yeah.
for me either.
And it's weird to think that this was his debut movie that came out in 2017. It's not too long ago, and he's already considered as one of the greatest horror directors of all time,
hmm
with only being three features in the
Yeah,
last 6 years.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, he's yet to miss, in my opinion, at least. I
hmm
love all of them.
Agreed.
I'm starting
But
to believe he won't.
I love all of his films, but I do think that Get Out is by far his best. Which
hmm
is just
Yes.
like that's not saying the other two are bad by any means, but like
hmm
that's just like he's a masterpiece standing next to two great films. Like
You guys,
hmm
what do you guys rate us?
I love Us. I think Us is great. I
I
think
think I
it's
have it like at 4.
yeah. I'd give it like
That's
a 4
yeah,
out of
that's yeah, a
5.
lot of people because I have it at a 4.5.
Yeah, I need to
And
rewatch it to be honest.
there's been
I think
videos I've
that's
stated
valid.
that, and people like they just look at me like I'm insane. So it's
No,
like they're like, oh, this is like a 3. I'm like, fuck.
no,
I
it's not
gave it
fair.
4, but I watched it at a time when I didn't use Letterboxd. So I think that's just what I gave it, like based on what I could remember. But I'd have to rewatch it again to kind of like fully rate
Mm.
it. But yeah, I think it's great still.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice pick.
Harry, number 4, please.
So my number 4 is one of the greatest sci-fi's of all time, Ridley Scott's Alien. I
There we
think
go.
we've already like touched on it, of course, but I think just the sense of claustrophobia that this film allows you to feel is an achievement. The character, the creature design of the xenomorph, one of, if not the best creatures in movies. Um, I love this. I love a closed setting horror. That's like my favorite type of horror. Like if I had to just like my favorite genre of horror is probably slasher, to be honest. But like a closed setting horror, which a couple of the next ones are gonna be, um, that's my favorite. And like the idea of all this happening in space where no one can hear you scream, it like adds another layer of horror onto the film. I think everything about this film's incredible. I watched it again like a couple weeks ago, and it still lives up. And the movie was made in what, like 79? Like
76. I thought it was 76. Is it 79?
yeah,
79.
that's nuts to me. That's crazy. And
That might be
this,
the best
If,
tagline
if
of
the
any movie
seventies
ever.
weren't,
Oh,
if the
easy.
70s weren't stacked enough with horror,
yeah,
Ridley Scott's just like, yeah, hold on,
yeah. Hold my beer.
one more,
Hold my
just
beer.
fit one more
Yeah,
in
I
there.
actually think that might be like the most memorable tagline of a movie ever. Like, I think even people who don't like necessarily like,
And
oh my God, I love Alien, they know that tagline. Like,
Yeah.
that's just like
in
an
space, no one
unforgettable
can
one.
hear you scream.
It's so good. That one
And
line, you're
Ellen
just
Ripley
like, oh.
is just,
Ellen Ripley is
she's
a badass motherfucker as well.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
she's one of the most badass characters in movies.
One of the best
and-
horror characters, one of the best action characters.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Alien is that film. I love that. I love that movie so much.
Fuck yeah.
nice. All right.
Ash.
So my number 4 is, I think, my biggest movie hot take of all
I love
time,
this.
and
Go
that
ahead.
is Sinister. I have it at a
Oh,
5 out of 5. I
yes.
don't care.
Yeah.
I saw that movie when I was like 16, I think, and it scared the living shit out of me. It's probably the only horror movie that has actually ever scared me. I don't really get scared of anything. I didn't even lose sleep over Hereditary. Like, I was disturbed, but it wasn't like, didn't scare me. This
Yeah.
movie truly terrified me. I actually just rewatched it like a week ago. I just love it. I mean, I watched it on I have an OLED TV now, so like all the dark
Ooh.
colors are even darker. That movie is like so haunting and dark and color, like everything that he chose to do with the lighting. It's like you feel like you're like there with
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke, like while he's. It's just so disturbing on so many levels, and I wish they would have done something cooler with Bagul. That's his name, right? Bagul. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah,
But-
I forget the pronunciation.
Yeah, I wish they would have done something cooler with it, like with the second one and like a better like series after. But that first one just still holds up so well for me. I know people have their own opinions about Scott Derrickson, but I think with horror films, he definitely
He
knows
gets
what he's
it. No,
doing.
he's
I love
great.
the Black Phone too.
He directed
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, didn't he?
The first one.
I love directors that just have like the most randomest like movies next to each other. Like if you look at their filmography, it's just like
It's
Yeah.
so
fucking
weird.
sinister Doctor Strange.
Definitely kind of out there for him, but
also
yeah,
did
no,
the Black
huh?
He also did the Black Phone.
Yeah, which I love that movie. I give that one a 4.5.
I love
Sinister
that
is like a 3.3 in Letterboxd. I don't care. I will defend
That's
that movie
nuts.
for my life. I don't care. It's so good, and it's also actually like well acted and like well written, like well directed. Like it's not just like good for jump scares.
Ethan Hawke.
So Ethan
One-
Hawke, you know how much I love him. He's just great in that
Yeah.
movie.
Can we put Ethan Hawke in more horrors, please?
For
Yeah,
real.
He's great. Put him in
He's
everything. I don't
fucking-
care.
It was everything, especially look. I don't think the Black Phone at first I did think it was like absolutely amazing, one of the best horrors of the decade so far. Probably still is. But him as the grabber, please give him more roles like that.
So
Yeah.
terrifying.
Amen. One word though about Sinister: lawnmower.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the lawnmower
Yeah.
scenes. That one haunts me to this day.
Yeah.
I showed my 15-year-old niece the movie and she didn't flinch once. I was like, "What's wrong with you that you don't think this is scary? Like, are you okay?"
Yeah, she's a fucking
Because even I got a
nutcase.
couple of them got me, and I've seen it like 7 times, and it still got me.
Didn't flinch. What a fucking
So
psychopath.
yeah, that is my number 4. And if you don't like that movie, I don't want to hear about it. So.
Nice. I love that as your number 4, Byron.
My number 4 is a movie that Letterboxd has recently moved into the horror genre. Thank God, because it has always been a horror movie in my eyes, which is The Silence of the Lambs.
Nice.
Not only one of the best thrillers of all time, but it's now one of the best horror movies of all time. I think every inch of this movie is incredible, from the performances from Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, especially Anthony fucking Hopkins.
Yep.
It's my favorite performance of his, as I'm sure it is many of others. I mean, they based these movies off of Anthony Hopkins because he was always the perfect actor to play this sadistic, twisted son of a bitch, and I fucking love it. So yeah, my number 4 is The Silence of the Lambs.
Hell yeah.
Such a good movie.
That
Yeah, see, I've never considered that one a horror film, so I will say like that one and American Psycho, I give them both fives. That's not for me what I would put on a horror
Yeah.
list, but they're still top movies of all time, like in my top 50 favorites. So totally respect that pick. I just think I've always considered it to be more a little bit like of a thriller, like not crime thriller, but more like drama thriller.
Yeah, it's a crime thriller horror.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. How many Oscars that win? So it won the like I can't remember what they call it, but the set. They won like best actor, actress, picture, director, and screenplay, which is nuts.
The main ones.
Yeah, that's
literally
nuts.
all the main ones.
There's only been like
Honestly, I
3
feel like
movies.
Jodie Foster, she doesn't really get enough respect. Like she's done so many things, like even like being a taxi driver when she was a kid. Like she's been acting forever, and I feel like no one really talks about her like as like a really amazing actress.
I think she's about to get another resurgence because she's in the new True Detective, which comes out in January. And I think she's going to fuck in that. I reckon she's going to go to town because it's the first season. Creators coming back for it, and the first season was very much like it wasn't the first catapult, but it was one of the catapults that put Matthew McConaughey back into the stardom of what he is now. So I agree with you. I think Jodie Foster is brilliant. I love her. So I think that she's about to get her comeuppance.
Nice. Great pick.
Love that.
Now we're getting into the finish, the podium finish.
Top
Number three, Harry.
My number 3, talk about a closed location horror. This is one of the best of ever. This is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I think this is one of the best performances of all time from Jack Nicholson, one of the best actors of all time. And Shelley Duvall puts on a fucking show as well. Everything about this movie is spectacular. Like when you start the movie and that soundtrack starts, like, bah, 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 like instantly you're like, I'm already got chills. But the slow like what's it called, nosedive into insanity that Jack Nicholson goes through, Jack Torrance, is spectacular. Like it's so good to watch, and there's still like I can't remember what year this was made, but it's still
80.
80, yeah, there you go. It still haunts me. This like the twins, the old woman in the hotel room. This movie is so good, but it uses that closed setting so well because of that sense of isolation that like this family is just alone, that there's no one to help them at all. Yeah, I think this is this is my favorite Kubrick film. I don't think that's a hot take, to be honest. Like, there's like I guess 2001 for sure for a lot of people, but I would put The Shining above it. But yeah, everything about The Shining I think is so damn good. Ash.
Yeah, and I was gonna say The Shining and The Thing I think would be like in my like honorable mentions. They're not my favorites because I just don't think I like was attached to them early on enough for it to become a favorite, but I still respect them because I think they're still amazing films.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think The Shining will ever be one that I'm like, oh, that's a favorite movie.
Yeah.
But I just rewatched it last year and I like had forgotten how solid it is. So definitely respectable pick, and I kind of expected that would be in both of your tops. So not too surprised.
We'll find out.
See what Byron says.
We'll find out.
Nah, overrated.
I'm not surprised it's in your top 3. So.
Overrated. 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah. So my number 3 is actually Jordan Peele's Get Out. Nice. I love that movie. It's been an all-time favorite of mine since I saw it. I think I've watched it like 4 or 5 times. I actually want to rewatch it. I bought the 4K copy recently, so I'll probably rewatch it here soon. But I just feel like it's so like it makes you feel so uneasy, and like the build up, the twist. The first time I watched it, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I was not ready for it. That whole scene when she's putting him like into that place and he's falling, like it just. I felt like my stomach was like sinking when I watched that. It just gives you that like feeling that you want from a horror film, you know? So I have nothing but positive things to say about that movie. I don't have any issues with it. I think it's pretty close to a perfect film. So that's my number 3.
I think Get Out has one of the best horror endings of all time. where his mate pulls up. I can't remember his mate's name, but I am TS motherfucking A, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that
instantly
guy
you
is so
feel
funny.
you feel so much relief. He's like, finally, he's safe, because there's all these
Yeah, because the whole
alternate
time you're
endings.
hoping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's all these alternate endings that like that he goes back in and he gets killed and stuff like that, or he gets imprisoned and like, but yeah, that ending of his mate coming back, I thought that yeah,
Hmm.
so good.
His name is Rod.
Rod, that's right. I'm TS motherfucking A. We handle shit. Consider this shit
So good.
motherfucking handled. So good. Love that
Yeah.
pick.
Fantastic film. So Byron, what's your third?
After I say my third, I'm pretty sure everyone will know what my top two are. Now, depending on what order you think they're in, you're probably wrong. My number three, and it'd be a shame if this man didn't have a movie on this list. It's John Carpenter's The Thing, the second best science fiction horror of all time,
Nice.
in my eyes. I think, look, John Carpenter will always get praised for Halloween as his most known movie. The Thing reigns as, in my opinion, by far his best.
Yeah, I would think I would say it's a better made movie than Halloween for sure.
I think so
I
as well.
think this movie has one of the best settings in all of horror. I think it has some of the best special effects, practical effects in any movie. And coming out in the early 80s, like, it's fucking insane. It's mind blowing.
Hmm.
Kurt Russell is another standout of The Thing. I think it is his best performance of his career.
Nice.
Maybe his performance as Ego in Guardians 2.
Yeah, cool. Slight rival. Slight rival.
Slight, yeah.
People are going to think I'm serious. But no, The Thing is it's incredible to look at. It's incredible to listen to, and it's so fucking scary. And you
Hmm.
won't hear me call a lot of movies scary. Like I've seen over 360 odd horrors. It's pretty tough nowadays to actually scare me. Jump scares will always have that effect, but to actually scare me is very rare. But the Thing does it, and it does it fucking well.
Nice. That's a great pick.
Great pick.
Number two, Harry.
My number two, there it is The Thing. Yeah. Number two is The Thing. I
That's
echo
good.
everything Byron just said. The paranoia that this film produces, this whole movie, the whole fear is paranoia. Like talk about the greatest ending of all time. The Thing's up there as well. Of just both of them sitting around the fire, being like, let's just wait it out. Like that idea is so good, but one of them's The Thing, but they just don't know. But as Byron said, everything about this movie, the location is perfect. This isolated snow cabin where they can't even really go outside for long, but then the slow
Hmm.
infestation of insanity and paranoia across everyone's minds is so good. The scene of the testing where everyone's like sitting in seats and they like is electrocute them. Yeah, it's electrocute them, right? A slight electrocution. That is one of the best scenes in horror for me, where like the last guy
Absolutely.
starts to shake. It's so good. Yeah, Kurt Russell's incredible, almost as good as he was as Ego. And
Almost.
yeah, almost. But yeah, that movie's the easiest 5 out of 5 I've ever given. I think.
Have either of you seen the other two Thing movies?
I watched the prequel.
Mm-mm.
I haven't. Is there a third?
The
Oh,
original,
the original one. Yeah, I've never watched the original one.
the Thing, titled "The Thing from Another World,"
Right.
1951, I believe.
Oh,
No, I've never.
So that's the first one. John Carpenter's is the remake of that, and The Thing from 2011 is a prequel to both.
I like the prequel because the ending of the prequel where it leads into, because I didn't know it was a prequel, and how it leads into the original. I thought was like is actually so good.
yeah, I didn't realize that there was a prequel. I mean, I knew that there was one that came out later, but I just assumed it was a remake of the
Yeah, I thought
original.
it was a remake as well, and it's a prequel.
Yeah, I
Good to
included
know.
it in a remake ranking, and people are very upset with me.
So you know the scene in the thing, Ash, where they go to the other station and it's all like hollowed out and there's like bodies everywhere. It's of those people. That's the movie.
Oh, okay, interesting. I'll have to check it out at some point. I do think the more I'll watch the thing, I do think it'll go up a little bit.
Yeah, nice. Hell yeah. Ash, what's your number 2?
Okay, number 2 for me. I don't think this is going to be too much of a surprise. It's one of the greatest slashers that I just gave 5 out of 5 finally, and that is Scream.
Nice.
Actually, my top 2 are the same director, so you probably can guess what my number 1 is, but we'll get into that. But yeah, Scream, so iconic. I saw it when I was a teenager, and I think I've watched it every year pretty much since. I've probably seen it 13, 14. I don't know, how old am I now? I've probably seen it at least 13 times. Just so iconic. And I love knowing that Drew Barrymore was supposed to be like Sydney.
Yeah.
And she ended up just being the way that they ended up twisting that around was so iconic. And I think it was better that she played the role she played. I do think that Neve Campbell was perfect for Sydney. But yeah, I honestly don't think that there's like any flaws in that movie. It's a perfect parody slasher movie that ended up being so well done that they had to then make another parody about Scream with Scary Movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like a full circle.
Yeah.
Scream is a movie that it's like you had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you had Halloween. After those two movies released and had the reaction that they did, a lot of movies tried making slasher movies. It's like every fucking studio was just like, we need to make a slasher movie because these things rip. So many failed. Scream came along and redefined the slasher subgenre in such a brilliant way. And just like Halloween and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre did, a lot of movies tried replicating Scream. And although none of them ever reached the same success as Scream did, like Scream is heavily influential for some very good slashers. I Know What You Did Last Summer is probably one of the better examples of that. And that movie's not amazing, but
it's good fun.
The influence it got on Scream
is classic.
100% there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think with Scream, the whole concept of like it always being somebody who's within the circle of the group in some fashion or connected to the group in some fashion. I mean, once you know who the killer is, I feel like it doesn't take away from the rewatchability of any of the movies, honestly. Like, I enjoy all of them, even though the first one is far and away the best.
Yeah.
I will.
But, what were you going to say?
I mentioned this to Harry and Alex and the others. Whoever the fuck watched Scream and thought, you know what, I'm gonna cast Matthew Lillard as Shaggy Rogers. You're fucking weird. You're weird. Who the? I mean, I'm glad it wasn't the other way around. I'm glad they didn't see Shaggy and they're like, that's our Ghostface. That's our serial killer. Like, that would be fucked up.
I kind of can't
so many
see
people
it,
are huge fans of him as Stu. Like, they
awesome.
love that character. Yeah.
He is, I think, everyone's favorite. It's like, they've been teasing him in the recent movies. At the end of Scream 5 with the knife clean. That was his famous way of cleaning his knife. And then in 6, they obviously said, well, he was never confirmed to be dead. Yeah, make your fucking money, you fucks. I'll be there watching it. I'll be there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll see every Scream movie that comes out. But yeah, the first one will always be my favorite, I'm sure, and that is my number 2. So.
Nice. Be Dizzle.
What do you got, Byron, for number 2?
Number 2.
Drum roll.
I've been bouncing this decision like all over the place for like 3 months now. Number 2 is The Shining.
Yeah, I knew that was going to go that way.
I think now everyone knows what my number 1 is. But number 2, The Shining, it does take the cake for my favorite Kubrick.
Yep.
I don't believe it's his best movie. Obviously, his best movie in my eyes is 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's also the greatest movie ever in my official ranking. that no one can see.
It's no Big Mama's
Because
house.
people will bully me if they see that list.
No national treasure.
It's no
Um,
national treasure. It's no national. It's just not though. It's not.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna watch it.
It's just not though. It's not.
But yeah, number two is The Shining.
It's not.
My favorite Kubrick movie. There's not a singular standout here. Let's be real. You could say the standout is Stanley Kubrick's direction. You could say it's Jack Nicholson's performance, which I believe is, if I were to rank like everything in this movie, there's a good chance I'd put Jack Nicholson's name at the very top of that list.
For sure.
What he did with Jack Torrance, it's actually scary. Like, not even like this is some like Joaquin Phoenix Joker type shit. Like seeing them as the character is scary. Like, I had to premise that because people me saying, "Oh, this," like they might have just sounded like I just put Joaquin Phoenix's Joker on the same level. But it's one of the greatest performances of all time. Dare I say number one? Honestly, it'd be podium for sure for me. There's another movie that you could argue that it's not a horror, that it's more of a psychological thriller. I understand both sides of that argument, but it's a horror through and through, and it'll forever be not only one of the best horrors ever made, but just one of the best movies. It's inside my top 15 of all time, I believe.
It's definitely a horror. It's definitely a horror.
Yeah. You have seen the people that try to argue it.
Yeah, but it's stupid.
It's like, it's more
Silence of the Lambs, to me, I feel like you could argue more in the thriller realm,
that's more
but
like
The Shining?
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs is like they're hunting down a serial killer. This has a river of blood. Like,
right. I was gonna say, my favorite part about this movie, even though I know it's not my favorite like your guys's, but the colors here, like even thinking like back to Suspiria when you brought it up, like I was starting thinking about The Shining, like the color palettes there, so good. That same 70s vibe.
Yellow,
even though
red,
I know it came out in 80, but it kind of had that late 70s vibe.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Imagine if it was released just a year before.
Yeah.
How stacked the 70s could have been.
Oh my god, yeah, it would have been.
They would have had Alien and The Shining released in the same year.
Stacked year.
Yeah, 79 would have been nuts.
The 70s would have never been topped. And honestly, I don't think it's a hot take by saying the 70s is by far the greatest decade for horror.
Yeah, sure. I don't know off the top of my head do
you doubt that?
I would have to look at the films.
Yeah, no.
This is another episode.
Another time.
We're gonna talk about it right fucking now here. No.
All right.
Well, now there's only 3 entries left on here. So, Harry, what's your number one?
My number one movie is the greatest slasher of all time. All right.
What? No.
It's Scream. Scream is spectacular. It's either that or Kurt Russell's performance as Ego is the greatest horror of all time. But no, Scream is, as Ash said, it's really everything about it. Like the writing itself is awesome. So I've got short-term memory loss. Did you touch on the twist of how it was 2 killers, of how that was...
No, I did not touch on that.
That in itself is insane. I showed someone the Scream for the first time this week, and at the end of it, she's just like, "There's 2?" And I was like, "Yes."
It's so obvious when you rewatch it enough times. Like it's so obvious that it's them 2. But when I first saw it, I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, a lot of slashers, and especially nowadays, they are probably some of the most predictable movies you're ever going to watch.
Yeah.
The classics, especially when it comes to Scream, with like movies that have that mystery guessing factor, no one's going to do it like Scream. No, if anyone watched Scream the first time and they're like, you know what, there'll be 2 killers and it'll be him and him.
Yeah.
Like,
Lying.
You ain't getting that shit. Like, I've predicted a lot of slashes. The Scream sequels, I got a lot of those right. but Scream 1 holds some of the most unpredictable horror twists ever.
Because you're watching it, you're like, of course it's Stu. Like the whole time,
Mhm.
like Stu very much is like,
Dude just
he,
looks evil.
but he's got that goofiness that you're like, he's probably a bit psychotic. And like it's of course Stu. Like the whole time, everything just links up. Oh, it's Stu, it's Stu, it's Stu, and it's
Mhm.
like it's Billy and Stu. I think is so damn good. But like yeah, so the twist, the rules of a horror movie scene is one
I'll
of
be right back.
one of my favorite scenes of all time.
I
Is
love Jamie Kennedy in that role. He's so perfect.
so good. Yeah, so perfectly written. It's a satire in itself, where like even just
Mhm.
like little lines where she's Sydney's on the phone to Ghostface for the first time in her house while she's waiting for Tatum to come and pick her up, and she's like, "What are you like are you thinking this is like some scary movie where?" The big boobed teen doesn't like goes up the stairs instead of out the front door, and she goes tries to do the front door and it's locked, and she goes up the stairs, and you're like the little things like that. I'm like, oh, this is so
Yep.
good. But yeah, that dad staying in that closet for that entire week, tied up, he would smell. He would
Oh yeah.
smell.
Be a pretty rough experience.
Yeah,
Mhm.
rough. But yeah, that's easily my number one horror of all time. Ash.
It's one of the best
Amazing pick.
parts ever,
Yeah,
Yeah, amazing cast.
especially for slashers.
yeah,
You have
absolutely.
your
Yeah.
main character, you have your main villain, and you have your main survivor.
So
This
good.
Scream has like five normal characters, and then the fucking character.
Yeah, let's just say that there's enough characters that people like or root for that there's a blind ranking of 10 of them on TikTok filter.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that movie had like all of the movies are so iconic that people want to like
Although,
rank 10 characters.
Yeah,
Neve
absolutely.
Campbell, please come back.
She will.
I know.
Just throw her a bag.
Stop,
Like she'll
stop
just
having
get a
contract
cash.
disputes. Like, come on, just
Just throw
give, us-
her a
give,
cash.
give her as much money as she fucking wants.
Right? Yeah, great pick, Carrie. All right, so my number one is my favorite horror film of all time, and it has been for about, I don't know, 17 years, and that is Nightmare on Elm Street. I think I might be the only person on Letterboxd that I have at least that gives this a 5. I don't know why it's not as loved. I just maybe have a fascination with Freddy Krueger, I guess, but I've always found him to be the most interesting and most terrifying horror villain. So I've always enjoyed these movies. I like the first 3 a lot. I think they're really fun, but the first one is by and far my favorite.
Yeah.
I love Nancy. I like the aspect of the dreaming and being able to, kill in the dreams, and that whole concept just fascinates me. And also the
Yeah.
boiler room is so terrifying. And I just the introduction scene to that movie, it's so campy, and I think that's why I like it. It's even more campy than like Halloween is, or even Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the colors, obviously, I think I kind of vibe with that color palette more than like Halloween, for example. So that is my number one. I will defend that movie as well with my life.
I love
Yeah,
that.
And yeah,
It
I
uses
think the advantage that A Nightmare on Elm Street has is that it's more genuinely frightening than pretty much every other slasher.
hmm
Like Robert Englund,
terrifying.
yeah.
dude, he was menacing, man. Like he scared the living shit out of me.
I
And
think he might have been like born to play that role. Like I can't really
Oh,
imagine anyone
bro,
else having played that. Also, shout out to Johnny Depp. That's his introduction
So
role
good.
into
So
film.
oh, yeah.
What well, don't you dare. Johnny Depp's king. What
No.
what Nightmare on Elm Street does so well is that it like turns this one aspect that everyone has to do to live, which is sleep, and turn it into
Mhm.
like you're fearing it.
It's
It turns
Yep.
like you're
Yep.
scared to sleep in itself. That is so good. So yeah, the idea is
only 1% of people are lucid dreamers.
yeah.
Wow.
I've said that maybe 30 times on TikTok because
Can we get
fuck,
someone
they're
to
not series.
can we get
People try argue it.
can we get someone to go back and count to make sure that that fact is checked that he said it 30 times?
Yeah, I need to get a fact checker
Can
on
we get a
that.
fact check
Hang
on
on.
that?
Through all the comments, go, yeah, go,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do it.
I'm gonna have to ask Jay in particular
do it.
to fact check Byron, please. Just go through all these videos. Byron, what's your number one?
You tell me. You tell me.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Harry,
No.
I literally was about to say that. How dare you?
I'm sorry.
No. My number one is a revolutionary masterpiece. Not only one of the best horror movies of all time, but one of the greatest features of all time. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is fucking nah, fuck that shit. That's one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever fucking seen in my life. Number one's Ridley Scott's Alien.
Nice.
Big shock.
One of the best sci-fis, one of the best horrors. Ridley Scott's best movie, which is just mind-boggling to say when you consider what he has in his filmography. Gladiator, Blade Runner, to name a couple. Those are 5 out of 5s, and I think Alien is just incredible. One of the most claustrophobic, atmospheric movies of all time. It's a thing that came out in the 70s. Again, is just mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Ridley Scott is my favorite director. There is no bias towards that because Alien hasn't always been my favorite movie. But when I properly started getting into movies and I'm watching all this different shit, Alien has always been the movie that's like, oh yeah, I always think back to that just being fucking the best. And then I rewatch it. And then I rewatch it again and again and again and again. And it's one of the biggest achievements in all of cinema.
Oh yeah.
That's my claim. It's masterful. And I throw that word out quite a lot. Like if you were to go through all of my reviews, I'd probably say the word masterful in almost every single one of them.
Jay, we're going to need to fact check that as well.
I believe this is a...
Yeah, seriously.
Good luck. Are you paying him for this? You're going to pay him an hourly?
I'm going to pay him in a crisp...
You know how long it would take?
Is that the only movie that we all three have on our list? Alien?
I believe so.
Sure, you don't have
Think
China,
so?
do you? You don't have a thing.
Nope.
No, she doesn't have the
there you go.
thing either.
Oh, does everyone have Halloween?
No, Byron doesn't.
Oh,
Bro, Halloween is...
Alien's the only one.
Oh,
Halloween,
awesome.
out of the 359 horror movies I have ranked, yes, I have them all ranked.
I don't think
Halloween
anyone's surprised by
is
that.
just outside the top 20.
Oh, nice. Cool.
I don't know if that's a hot take or not. It's 21.
No, great pick for number one, though, man. It makes sense. Like, it's sublime.
Alien slaps. Alien bangs. Alien claps. Alien, I don't know.
Nice.
Alien's the best.
I like that though, that we all have a different list, really, except for one movie. Like, I guess that just goes to show how, like, I feel like horror films, especially, can just really be a matter of like how you connect to it or what kind of subgenre you really
super diverse
click with. Yeah. Because I think I have 4 or 5 horror comedies on my list.
Yeah, I expected that from you. I expected to be a lot of horror comedy and slashes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, another thing I forgot to touch on about A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's so funny. Like, the humor is through the fucking roof.
Which isn't shocking that I like it that much.
I'm trying to think of characters that are equally as scary and funny.
Yeah, I laugh a lot when I watch that movie.
Some of the shit that comes out of Freddy's mouth is like insane.
Yeah, should we...
Also, recap it if you want.
Yeah, should we recap? Should everyone go through?
Harry, 10 through 1.
So my 11th was Suspiria. Just to give another honorable mention. Number 10 was Rosemary's Baby. Number 9, Jaws. Number 8, Hereditary. Number 7, Halloween. Number 6, Pan's Labyrinth. Number 5, Shaun of the Dead. Number 4, Alien. Number 3, The Shining. Number 2, The Thing. And number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2.
All right. At number 10, I have Shaun of the Dead. Number 9, Halloween, the OG. Number 8, Evil Dead 2. Nice. Number 7, Alien. Number 6, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
I love that.
Number 5, Army of Darkness. Number 4, Sinister. Number 3, Get Out. Number 2, Scream. And number 1, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice.
My number 10 belongs to Train to Busan. Number 9 belongs to Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 8, I have Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse. 7 belongs to Ari Aster's Hereditary. Number 6 belongs to Steven Spielberg's Jaws. Number 5 belongs to Jordan Peele's Get Out. Number 4, I have The Silence of the Lambs. Number 3, I have John Carpenter's The Thing. Number 2, I have Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. And number 1 belongs to Ridley Scott's Alien.
Nice.
Lots of variety in these lists.
Horror is the best. I think the horror genre works with every other genre. You can have science fiction, comedy works really well. Fantasy is hard to pull off, but it works.
Pants.
Action, Aliens is probably the best example I can think of. I mean, Terminator, if you really think about it.
Predator.
Predator, yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, that whole franchise. Yeah. Fuck, I don't think I have Predator in my horror ranking.
That's something.
Thank you, Ash. I'm going to update that later.
What do we got?
But yeah, lots of great genres. So.
I was going to ask if you had any honorable mentions that none of us have mentioned.
Mine was just Suspiria. That was the one that I was fighting to get on.
I would say A Quiet Place and The Conjuring and 28 Days Later are definitely all honorable mentions for me.
and
yeah, Blair Witch Project for me as well. I love Blair Witch Project.
The Witch.
Mm-hmm. I know you love that one.
Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, Midsommar, Park Chan-wook's Thirst. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. It is one of the better vampire movies.
Nice.
Everyone knows my distaste for another famous vampire franchise.
Wow, you don't like Underworld?
No.
Wow.
I don't.
Pete Beckinsale's best performance.
Yeah.
Who?
Black Christmas. And her relationship with Pete Davidson up there, best performances.
I don't know. I think Click might be her best performance. Actually.
Yeah, actually, Click's rad. Click's awesome. Nice.
So yeah, now we will go into our game of the week, which is horror-themed trivia, presented by The Notorious.
Oh, this third-person stuff, man.
It's because If you didn't say it every time, I would probably stop. But
I know, it's on me.
But it gets to you, so I'm gonna keep going.
My whiteboard came with 4 colors. Harry, did yours?
Damn, I got 3.
Oh, fuck. I got none. I have.
You don't need one.
My phone.
Is that the question?
I feel like I'm gonna lose, but we'll see.
Wait. So so how we're doing it is because we all live in different countries. I'm in Australia. Ash is in US, and Byron's in Narnia.
America. So yeah.
I was waiting for that.
7 motherfucking day, yeah, sorry.
So the delay if someone buzzes in might hurt. So it's just gonna be me and Ash get the same question. We write it down on whiteboards and show.
Would you prefer to do it question by question?
Yes. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a pub trivia write down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
These aren't in order. Originally, I was going to segregate these to be certain difficulties, but I gave up.
You can keep track. You can keep score, right, Byron?
I can indeed.
Cool.
These answers aren't going to be like a sentence long, right?
I'm not. Yeah, good.
No.
Okay.
Byron's going back into his treasure chest.
My notebook.
Yeah, nice. I'm just saying because the audio.
Handy dandy notebook.
It was next to the random HDR cable.
Nice. All right.
All right. Question number 1.
Good luck, Ash.
Good luck to you too.
Nice. Friendship.
Question number 1. What is the highest grossing Stephen King film adaptation to date?
It's like 1 of 4.
Really?
Okay.
I'm good.
Are we revealing? Are we revealing our answers?
Yeah, you go first.
Oh, me first? I said it.
I also said it.
It is the remake of It.
Yeah, nice.
Shit, I don't have anything to wipe this off with.
Oh, mine's got little erasers. You're a loser.
Oh, you just got
Wait, I do
beat.
have it.
You may have. Harry, you're still getting beat.
Damn,
Got it.
that sucks.
She has extra colors and an eraser.
Damn.
I'm not super
What
smart and
fact?
didn't realize it was on the back of the marker.
That was good. It was either that or Christine, Byron. That's what I was thinking. Maybe it was Christine.
How much did that make?
Like $2. Made nothing.
All right, we're tied.
Yes, you are. Question number 2. I prefaced this yesterday by saying rewatching it would not help you. What film was A Quiet Place initially intended to be a sequel to?
A sequel to.
Christ.
I did
Oh my
know
God.
this prior.
I have no idea. I'm going to guess this.
Yeah, I threw a couple of ones in here.
I got nothing.
I'm going to guess Cloverfield.
Cloverfield is correct. It's
Holy
kind of
shit.
fucking weird how
I did not know that, and I,
I
love
thought
that
of the
movie.
character design is what I'm thinking of, like the character design of the big
That's smart.
Cloverfield monster.
Yeah. weird to think about that. Yeah, A Quiet Place was going to be a sequel.
Yeah, that's
To
cool.
Cloverfield.
My first thought was Bird Box, but I was like, that deserves nothing. But I think Bird Box actually came out after, maybe? I think it came out after because it was trying to
It
ride
did.
that high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I don't know.
I hate
I don't
Bird
think I've
Box.
seen it.
That movie is rough.
Is it? What's that movie? What is that movie? Is that the Wind one? What the fuck is that?
The Wind one.
What is Bird Box?
Bird Box is
I
Sandra
can't
Bullock.
think of the movie.
Sandra Bullock.
Nah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm out.
Whoa. Continue.
I don't like her acting, man. No, hey, just all right. Question number 3. In the original Nightmare on Elm Street, what is Nancy's address?
Oh, Christ.
Oh. I just rewatched this too, and I should know this.
Good question, Byron.
Just have to give me the number. Obviously, we know what fucking street it is.
I'm blanking.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna guess something. I'm totally wrong. It's backwards. It says 679, and it's not correct.
It's not Nancy. It's actually P. Sherman, and it's 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
The answer is actually 1428 Elm Street.
Yeah, I was never getting.
Yeah, I did not know that it was if it was 3 or 4 digits.
That's a tough one.
I thought, honestly,
I thought I should know it, but I just have never paid enough
you
attention.
were. I wasn't sure if Harry was going to get it. I was
No.
just like, this will be like the most randomest shit if Ash knew this.
No, good question. That's nuts, though.
I
That's
suck
a
at trivia, you guys.
That's a nuts knowledge question. What's the fucking
Yeah.
address in the fucking movie? Are you kidding? Go ahead. What's next?
This is the
I-
easy section of the trivia, Harry.
This wasn't actually on the. No, it's not.
Okay.
Okay, thank God.
What kind of blood is Carrie drenched in at her prom? What did the blood come from?
Pig?
I also had pig. Yeah, pig's blood.
Pig's blood is correct.
Yeah, nice. So I was second guessing myself there. After
Fuck
this whole,
that.
what's the address in Nightmare on Elm Street debacle that we went through? Jesus.
Debacle.
This little address gate is what we're going to be calling it.
Dressgate. So far, what is it? 3-2?
It is indeed.
Nice. Here we go.
Here's
smiling.
another one that watching it would not help you. Which iconic horror movie was almost titled Long Night at Camp Blood? Think about it.
Let me know when you're finished, Ash.
Friday
Long
the
night.
13th?
Yeah, I also meant Friday.
Friday the 13th.
Nice.
Thank God they changed it.
Yeah. I still don't like that movie.
Yeah,
Right.
first one's pretty
It's pretty rough.
shit. That doesn't
Good
start
question.
getting good until fucking Jason.
Hmm
Good question.
It's Jason's
Very good.
franchise, and the dude's not even in the first fucking movie.
In Friday the 13th, what's the coordinates of the camp?
Yeah, what's the coordinates of the spot where
To be
he
fair,
drowned
when
in
I
the
was
lake?
looking up trivia, some of the questions were the dumbest shit.
Yeah, nice. Nice one.
Yeah.
This one I will not bill you for spelling. In 1973's The Exorcist, what is the name of the demon?
Oh my god. Oh, it's like
It's like
no, it's some.
I haven't seen that
It's
movie
a
in like
dumb
over 10
fucking
years.
name.
that was the only factor that I was just like, I know you guys have seen it. Depends how long ago.
Yeah, I'm rewatching it next week.
I got nothing.
It's something like Zuzu or something like that.
Zuzu.
How close am I?
The name is Pazuzu.
Dude,
Half a point. Half a point.
I'm okay with not getting a point. I want recognition though.
Half a point is deserved because you missed the first.
Holy shit! Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not
Right.
getting a point, to be honest. But I just want.
I was thinking like
want
something with an
recognition.
H or a G for some reason.
That was
Yeah,
that's fucking gnarly. Because my first thought was like Zool, but that's out of Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Only Zool.
Fucking zoo.
Nice.
Did you guys see my review for that movie?
No.
No.
It just said Bustin makes me feel good, and somebody commented like, "What did she just say?"
I know that I had a spray pack like to kill weeds, and I like looked at my reflection in the window. I was just like, Ghostbusters. So I propped my phone up, took a photo, and I was just holding the sprayer with the Ghostbusters thing. It's like I got a couple messages like, what the fuck?
That's so funny. Good question.
All right, we're almost halfway through. Let's see who's gonna take this.
In The Shining, what room is Danny advised to stay clear from?
Fuck.
What's the room number?
The room number?
The room number.
You and your fucking numbers, Byron.
This is the last numbered. Actually, no, it's not.
I put 22, but it's not right.
1306.
Jesus Christ.
Is that right?
Fuck no.
Oh, oh fuck. Damn. What... Damn. What is it?
Fuck that. That'll be a good clip. Room 237.
Okay.
I said 22, so I was closer than Harry.
Yeah.
You were much closer because Harry was in the thousands.
Have you ever been to a fucking hotel, Byron?
A lot of them are actually 3 digits.
Know what I was saying?
At least in the US.
I don't actually think so, Harry.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. A movie that I actually mentioned, and both of you have seen it. Ash might have an advantage because I believe she watched it yesterday. In Jennifer's Body,
Fuck.
what is the name of the town?
Yeah. No. Damn.
Town names are a very common thing, I feel. I'm thinking about it, and it's just like I think of like 7, 8 horrors that they're like that do the the shot
They
of
make
like
the most made up
town,
town
and it's like
names.
it just has the sign.
All right, you ready, Harry?
I went Charleston.
Devil's Kettle.
Devil's Kettle is correct.
That's such
It's fucking weird. Who the fuck names their town that?
That movie was
Name is something cool.
so funny.
If you make a movie, have a cool named location like Camp Crystal Lake. Dope shit.
tight.
I don't know. I think
Devil's
Devil's Kettle
Kettle.
perfectly represents the vibe that town has going on.
I haven't seen it.
I would recommend it. It's fun.
I saw George review it. He's just like, oh, what the fuck? What did he say?
He says this movie rips.
No way, this movie rips.
That's awesome.
It's fun. All right, so I think we're almost tied now, except for your half point. You got
Yeah,
half
half a point. Watch that be the difference maker. In 2018's Hereditary, what food does Charlie have a bad reaction to? This is somewhat of a 2-part answer, but I will accept the base food.
Peanuts?
Peanuts?
Yeah.
So it's chocolate cake with walnuts. I will give you both half a
Oh.
point for it.
It's walnuts. That's interesting. So it's not just,
Walnuts.
but she has a nut
But there's
allergy.
no-
But
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you know what? On the representation of me and Ash, we will accept half a point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you're fucking getting it no matter what.
Good. Nice.
You're still half a point ahead of me, so that didn't solve much.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like these questions.
It's because most of them are slashes.
Nice.
We'll continue that. What film features the infamous line, if this movie doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight. Explanation mark.
So it's said in the movie.
Yes.
Your skin crawl is on too tight.
Say it one more time.
If this movie doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight. And I did accidentally give you a hint before. If you re-want that hint, I will say it again.
Well, now I really want the hint.
I want that hint.
Yeah.
All right. So the hint that I accidentally said, but it's out there, so it doesn't fucking matter anymore, was I said a lot of these questions were slashes.
Hmm.
This movie is a slasher.
Hmm. I'm blanking so hard right now. I feel like I got nothing.
I feel like I'm erasing the right answer, but I'm gonna.
Looks like Harry's second guessed himself.
Yeah.
Make your skin crawl. God. I'm blanking. I give up.
This is a guess. Scream 2, if they're talking about stab.
Ash, do you have one?
Mm-mm.
Harry, what was your original guess?
Halloween.
No.
That was kind of where my mind went to.
The
I
answer
didn't.
we were looking for was released in the 1970s, which would be Black Christmas.
Yeah, right.
Oh, fuck. I've only seen that one time.
So have I.
I've never seen Black
I
Christmas.
don't feel like I would have
I
remembered.
do want to
that.
rewatch it, but I'm struggling. Do I rewatch it for Halloween or do I rewatch it for Christmas?
Do it both.
Christmas.
Nice.
Because it's equally as a horror as it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Harry, your favorite? It's a number answer.
You said there was no more. Said there
Yeah.
was-
Well, check the recording. I went back on what I said.
Okay. Cool.
How often does the final ritual take place in Midsummer?
Like just how many times it takes place in the movie or in the like.
Yeah, how often does the ritual actually like take place in that world? Like not like in the film length, just because it is
I've only seen
stated.
Midsummer once.
I believe.
Yeah, me too.
I believe they say it twice.
I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Totally
if
guessing
you
here.
rewatch Midsommar, you're fucking weird.
Go ahead.
I
Why
said
would you-
every 50 years.
I said every
Okay.
72 years.
Fuck, you guys are fairly close. Every 90.
90. Because it's when the old people cease to live.
Yeah, I guess 50 is probably too short, but
Wow,
don't plan to
these
rewatch that.
questions. Continue.
Don't blame me, man.
Continue.
In how many movies does Anthony Hopkins star as Hannibal Lecter? I don't know if you both have seen all of them.
I feel like I'm
Still might
second
know
guessing
the answer.
myself.
So am I.
I just need the number, by the way. I'm not
Okay.
asking for titles.
I've got my answer.
You go first, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first. I put 4,
I
but
also
I
put
can.
4.
Sorry, mine's backwards, but I can only think of 3 off the top of my head. But I feel like there was a 4th one he was in besides.
Yeah.
No, is it
the,
3?
the answer is 3, that being
Damn.
The Silence of the Lambs, Ridley Scott's Hannibal, which is really fucking weird,
And then Red Dragon.
and Red Dragon.
So he
I
wasn't.
was thinking
I
there was
thought
a
he.
fourth one.
Yeah, because there was Hannibal Rising, and I thought there was a clip with him in it. Am I mistaken?
Is he fully credited for it?
I can't remember.
I was
Doesn't
gonna
matter.
say 3, and then I was like, no, that's too simple of an answer.
Either way, either me and Ash are both right or both wrong, so it doesn't matter.
Well, every time if I'm like ranking stuff and I see Red Dragon, dude, I always fucking forget about that movie.
Honestly, that
I might have to rewatch it. Because like,
what question are we up to?
Red Dragon, like you never think. This would be question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You're up to 14.
Cool.
Okay, 2 more
And then
tries.
I'll give you a couple bonus ones if you really want them.
All right.
Which surname is shared by key characters in Psycho, Halloween, and Scream? This one I also knew beforehand, which I always thought was kind of weird.
I'm going with the obvious answer, but I don't think it's right.
Loomis?
Bates.
Loomis.
I knew it wasn't
Loomis
that.
is correct, which would be Sam Loomis, Dr. Samuel Loomis, and Billy Loomis.
I think I spelled
Realistically,
it wrong.
I could have said Scream 5 too, because you know.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, Sam.
Yeah, it's not credited as that, but it is.
Nice. Well, you're probably gonna win, Harry, because I lost a point there. So
Yeah, but we've
what's
been
the
in friendship.
final question?
Now, do I alter these point systems
We're
to
at,
Like, give us more
extra
points for the last
chance
one?
to jump?
we're at 90 minutes, so
All right. In Scream, what are Randy's rules? I need all 4. I want all 4 of them. It's realistically 3, but one of them's a double.
Mm. This is a lot to put me on the spot with.
Just need the keywords. This is incredibly close to.
let me know when you're ready, Ash.
Honestly, I'm blanking right now. I can't think of all 4. So
Number 1, never have sex. Number 2, don't
Yep.
drink. Number 3, don't
Yep.
do drugs. And number 4,
Yep.
never say the words "I'll be right back."
Fuck, that's yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten all 4 of those. So.
Or yeah, so he says no drinking and no doing drugs. He says that's one rule, but it's really not.
Yeah, that's fine.
2 different things.
2 things. Yeah.
Yeah, so Randy,
Nice.
you're fucking wrong. No.
I did better than I thought I would, Harry, but I'll let you take your victory.
I'm so glad that you guys were like this.
Yeah, it was good.
It was neck and neck for a minute there. I feel like my
Yeah.
brain is starting to I can't remember
I can't
like
do that.
long trivia questions like that.
I probably wouldn't have got any of those even if I knew them. Like,
Nice one, man. Close
Nice.
us off, Byron.
Nice game.
oh, that wraps up episode 1 of the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. Comment below if what you would like to see in the future. We will be more than happy to take recommendations. Follow us on social media. Those will be on screen. And have a good day.